Hello, this is Tammy Hewlett with Swimming and Stamps, and I'm here today to give you some tips on using the cropping tool. Sometimes it's hard to crop items with a square, so that's what we're going to try to do today. I'm going to show you a little trick of how to crop something that you may not think you can crop. Okay, so let me give you an example. Let me bring over this stamp right here. Wishing you Christmas cheer and a Happy New Year. I only want to put the Happy New Year on my calendar. This is my January calendar. And you can tell that if I go to crop this, if I use a square, it is not going to work. I'm either going to get a little bit of this part, the ANDA, or I'm going to have to chop off the tail of the H. So you can build a fancy punch with a little jig up here, but that's a lot harder. So I'm going to show you an easier way. Okay, so to start off, I am just going to crop it right here first. And I'm also going to color this white so we can actually put it on the paper and we can see it. Okay, so it's going to go right here onto my calendar. And now what I'm going to do is copy it and paste it in place. So copy, edit, paste in place. Now we've got two layers of the same item. You can see them right here on my layers palette. Okay, so I'm going to click on the top one and I'm going to hit crop again. And this time I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab just the top of that little piece, and I'm going to try to put the line right about where I had it before. You have to eyeball this, and sometimes you have to kind of go in and fix it later. Okay, so let's move it over. I don't know why my computer always kind of moves when I do things like this. Okay, at this point it helps a lot to zoom in so you can really see what you're doing. So I'm going to hit View, Canvas Zoom, and I'm going all the way up to 400. And that way I can really see if this is going to line up or not. So I'm going to use my arrow keys, and it looks like it's pretty, oops, I hit the wrong one. Looks like it's pretty close, but maybe needs to come down a little bit. So I'm going to hit crop again and just bring it down a little. Hit OK. And now it's kind of looking like it might fit. No, I think it still needs to go down a little bit more. So this is what you do. You just kind of play with it, and eventually you will find that it's going to fit together. Well, it's pretty close right there. Okay, so there you go. You've got the whole thing. Now you can group it together into one stamp at this point by just hitting the Shift key and highlighting both of those stamps and then saying Arrange Group. However, we're going to color this for my calendar page for January, and so you can't color it when it's grouped. So I'm going to leave it ungrouped for the moment and click off, and that way I can go in and I'm actually just going to color this Rich Razzleberry to start off with, because most of it's Rich Razzleberry. And I think I'll do the same thing for this one. Okay, then you can go in and use the coloring tool to color in the details. So now remember, this one that I just highlighted on, it's just a little piece of this right here. So the only thing I want to color, if you really want to, go for it and do the calendar just like I did, is I actually went through, you really have to zoom in to do this. I went through and I colored all of these little tiny lines white. Now I do have to caution you one thing. If I make a mistake and I color the part I don't want to color, for some reason, you can't just hit Rich Razzleberry and color it back. Once you color it white, it's like it disappears. So be really careful when you're using white to color, because the only way to undo this at this point is to hit reset, and then the whole thing turns black. So that would be really sad if you spent all kinds of time coloring something and then you had to hit reset and do it all over again. So when you use the white, if you want to do it just like I did on mine, really zoom it up a lot. Use a very small brush, really tiny, so that you can, when you're doing the white, so you can really go through and be very careful not to make any mistakes with the white. Okay, so that is my tip there. Now when you go, I'm on the wrong stamp brush here. To do the rest of it, you have to click on the bigger one. Okay, but basically that's how you use the coloring tool, is to go through now and color all these individual letters, the different colors. So for example, let me just do one really quick. This is Calypso Coral is the new. You just go through and color it like that. Okay, and you do that for all the colors in the whole thing. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the regular view, which on my computer is 125. And I want to add this frame. Now the frame doesn't exactly fit, so I'm going back to my stamps and I'm going to hit browse because I need to go to another stamp brush. It's called Hello World, and it's in the designer kits. And so let me open that and go to, I want to say it's, oh, is that it? No, that's not it. Where the heck is it? There it is. Okay, let's bring that over and we're going to color it white so we can see it against that dark background. Okay, and now I'm just going to put it on my calendar and increase the size so that it fits across. That looks about right. Now obviously it's not long enough, so here's what you do. Crop it, go down about this far, say OK, and then copy and paste it, Control C, Control V, you'll get a duplicate copy, and then hit flip and put it down on the bottom. And then all you have to do is go back and crop until those two pieces meet. So now you want to maybe make it a little bit smaller, and you have to keep repositioning it because for some reason it just keeps moving. It's probably easier to do the top one. Go into crop, make it a little bit smaller. We're getting really close. Yeah, there we go. And then it's just a matter of lining it up and then highlighting the top one and say arrange group. And now it becomes one stamp brush. You can go into your layers palette now. You can see it's one frame and move it down to the bottom right above your chalkboard paper so that you can still click on all the other things and it won't get in the way. And I'm trying to remember, well, I wrote on the instructions, I might have decreased the opacity of that. I think I did. I went down to 80. So you're going to want to do that. For the frame. Was I clicked on the frame? No, I wasn't. Okay, I clicked on the other thing. Well, that's 82. Okay, so that's my first video for January. I will be back to show you how to do those little dots because they're really tiny and there's a few tricks that I can show you on how to move them around.